You know that feeling, that moment when you're alone and something watches you, when the hair on your neck stands on end, when your instincts scream at you to run, but your mind can't explain why. Most people ignore it, they rationalize it away. But what if they're wrong? What if that feeling is trying to warn you about something very real? Over decades, we've collected testimonies from ordinary people who didn't ignore that feeling, who listened when every fiber of their being told them something was profoundly wrong. These are their stories. Stories that authorities would prefer stayed buried. Stories that will make you question every shadow in your home, every stranger on the street. Tonight, you're going to meet 10 people who encountered the impossible. And after you hear what happened to them, you'll never sleep quite the same way again. But before we begin, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications, because we upload horror documentaries like this every single week. Stories that will keep you awake. Stories that will change how you see reality. Now, are you ready? Let's begin. 1. The Shallows Stalker. Location: Coastal Maine, 2019. Dr. Marcus Webb loved the ocean. It was his sanctuary. Every summer, he'd return to Casco Bay to conduct research, alone. That's where he felt most alive. But in summer 2019, something changed. On the fourth evening, as the sun bled crimson across the water, Marcus noticed something. A disturbance. Not like a fish, something larger, purposeful, intelligent. He watched it for 3 minutes before retrieving his camera. What happened next, Marcus would spend the rest of his life trying to forget. The creature surfaced, pale, translucent skin that absorbed light, eyes, black voids, looking directly at him with an intelligence that made his knees buckle. For a moment, Marcus understood what it felt like to be prey, to be studied by something that saw him not as an equal, but as a specimen. He filmed for 47 seconds before his hands shook so violently he dropped the camera into the water. He never retrieved it. He never went back. Within 3 months, Marcus had relocated 300 miles inland. Within 6 months, he developed a crippling phobia of water. He won't shower with the bathroom door closed. He won't look at windows facing the ocean. Every night he dreams of black eyes watching him, eyes that know exactly where he is. His colleagues say he broke that night. Something fundamental inside him snapped. And they're right, because Marcus knows the truth. The thing in Casco Bay didn't just see him, it studied him. It remembered him. And somewhere in the Atlantic, something is still thinking about him, still hungry. 2. The Whistler of Blackwood Forest. The forest doesn't want you there. Indigenous peoples have whispered this for centuries. Blackwood Forest, the place where the trees listen, where something old waits in the shadows. 5 experienced hunters didn't believe the warnings. They were confident. They were wrong. The whistling started on the second day. It was beautiful, almost human, but not quite. It mimicked their voices, their laughter, their calls. It learned their names. Robert Chen heard his own voice call to him from darkness. He answered without thinking. That was his mistake. When Robert separated from the group, they heard him scream. Once, a sound of pure terror, then silence. Something emerged from the trees wearing Robert's face. It moved like Robert. It had his voice. But when it opened its mouth and produced that impossible whistling, that sound Robert's vocal cords could never make, the men finally understood what they were facing. They ran. They crashed through undergrowth with branches tearing at their skin. They didn't stop. They didn't look back. 3 days later, they found Robert's body suspended 12 feet up in a pine tree, as if he'd been displayed like a trophy. His throat was intact, no marks, no wounds, but his eyes were wide open, staring at something only he could see. The coroner wrote undetermined because he couldn't explain it, didn't want to explain it. The Whistler is still in Blackwood Forest, and sometimes hikers report hearing a familiar sound, their own voice, calling to them from the darkness. 3. The Hollow. Location: Appalachian Mountains, 1975 to present. In Appalachian Hollows, there's an old tradition. When a family member starts acting strange, speaking to themselves, staring at nothing, you don't call a doctor, you wait, because you know what's coming. It starts with a feeling, a presence. The affected person describes a pressure inside their skull, a voice that whispers things no one else can hear. They become obsessed with a specific place, a place they've never been, a place they shouldn't know about, but somehow they know exactly where it is. The compulsion grows. They stop eating, stop sleeping, stop acknowledging anyone. There's only the voice, only the call. Then one morning, before dawn, they walk into the forest, and they never come back. Or they do, but it's not them anymore. Search parties comb the woods for days. Dogs lose the scent. Nothing. Then, on the 4th or 5th day, they find the person standing motionless in a clearing. Eyes open, but seeing nothing. Responsive to nothing. The moment a rescuer approaches, the moment they get close enough to touch, the person vanishes. Literally. 1 second there, the next gone. But searchers always find something else. A figure constructed from twisted wood, dead leaves and soil. It crumbles to dust when touched. Dr. Sarah Whitmore studied 3 cases before her research was filed away. In her final paper, the one she was forced to retract, she wrote, "They're not taking people, they're replacing them. The hollows are alive, and they're learning what we taste like." The disappearances continue. Families still walk into those woods, and something in the darkness still hungers. 4. The Passenger. Location: Interstate 90, Nevada to Utah, 2004. 7 incident reports document the passenger, all classified, all sealed. In June 2004, truck driver John Halloway encountered a hitchhiker during a severe desert storm. The man was soaking wet, standing beside a gas station. He wore clothes from another era. He spoke only in whispers. "I need a ride east," he said. That was all. John made a decision he'd spend the rest of his life regretting. The next 17 hours are completely gone from John's memory. Time didn't work right that night. Hours compressed into minutes, minutes stretched into forever. John remembers fragments. The passenger's head turning at impossible angles. The passenger's fingers reaching toward John's face. "You're the template," the passenger whispered. "You're perfect." When John arrived in Utah, the passenger was gone. No trace he'd ever been there. But John's truck told a different story. Mileage was wrong. His logbook contained 17 missing hours. Security footage from truck stops shows something disturbing. In every image, 2 people sit in John's cab. As footage progresses, the passenger moves closer, always closer. In early footage, by the window. In later footage, toward John. In final footage, inches from his face. John Holloway doesn't drive anymore. On quiet nights, his wife hears him whisper to someone who isn't there. She hears him say, "No, I won't let you. You can't have me." And sometimes she hears another voice answer, a voice that sounds almost like John's, but not quite. 5. The Watcher in the Walls. The Brennan family found a Victorian farmhouse in Connecticut in 2011. It was perfect. 50 acres, original hardwood, a price so low it seemed impossible. The real estate agent couldn't explain why it had been on the market for 5 years. The family should have asked why. Scratching started within 2 weeks, soft, rhythmic, always behind the walls. Exterminators found nothing. But this creature was intelligent. It learned their patterns. It understood their routines. It would scratch directly behind whoever was nearest. Emily Brennan, 13 years old, became its favorite. She started finding marks on her bedroom walls each morning. Not random scratches, deliberate marks. Patterns that looked almost like symbols, like something was trying to write, trying to communicate. Her parents installed cameras with night vision. What they discovered shattered every rational framework they possessed. Every night, something moved through Emily's bedroom. Something with limbs bent at impossible angles, a head that rotated with disturbing flexibility. It appeared at frame edges, studying her while she slept. In one sequence, it extended something toward Emily's face, a hand maybe. It trembled, shook, as if struggling against an overwhelming urge. The family fled that night. They didn't pack. They didn't turn off the lights. They just ran. Emily now lives in a psychiatric facility. She has severe agoraphobia. She cannot be in enclosed spaces. Walls feel alive. Something watches from between them. The farmhouse still stands, empty, waiting. Sometimes teenagers dare each other to spend nights there. None last until morning. 6. The Thing Below. Research Station 3 was built at the edge of human territory. In 2002, something beneath the ice made contact. Maintenance workers were drilling, reinforcing structures, standard procedure, until their drills broke through into a cavity that shouldn't exist. A cavern, deep, impossibly deep, and not empty. Initial communications were confused, panicked. Workers described something vast moving below, luminescent, aware, something responding to their presence, coming closer. The final transmission lasted 47 seconds. Not a distress call, documentation. Pure audio of screaming, not human screaming. Vocalizations far too large, too resonant. Frequencies that made equipment distort. But analysis revealed something worse. Between the screams, a second sound, a response, a communication, as if something was calling to something else, as if the creature and whatever was below were having a conversation. Every person extracted broke, completely. Most were transferred to secure psychiatric facilities. Dr. James Kovac, the lead researcher, wrote one sentence before becoming catatonic. It was looking at us. We were so small, and it was curious, and it was hungry, and there was something else down there, something bigger. Station 3 remains sealed. Satellite imagery shows ice shifting, changing, as if something moves beneath. Still breathing, still waiting. 7. The Congregation. In a quiet Columbus suburb, something has been collecting children for 30 years. Not violently, not obviously. Systematically, methodically. It follows the same script. A child becomes fixated on a location, an alley, a building, a patch of woods. The obsession is compulsive, irresistible. Over days, the obsession deepens. The child stops eating, stops sleeping. There's only the call, only the pull. Then one day, the child walks toward that location, and something waiting finally gets what it's been hunting for. Sometimes children return. Lisa Carver was missing for 3 weeks in 1995. When she came back, she was covered in translucent slime smelling of copper and something organic. Her parents rushed her to the hospital. By the time doctors examined her, the slime had evaporated. Lisa couldn't remember anything, only that she'd been shown something important, something that prepared her. 6 months later, she was drawn to a different location. She didn't come back. In photographs of missing children, taken decades apart, figures appear in backgrounds. Always the same figures, standing, watching, waiting. Researchers identified 17 distinct entities spanning decades. They never age, never change. They simply stand there, observing. Locals call them the congregation, and they're still collecting, still choosing, still preparing children for something that comes later, something worse. Every 5 years, someone new appears in those photographs, someone who looks almost but not quite human. 8. The Deep Breather. Hikers along California's coast reported strange footprints in 2008. Not quite human, not quite animal. Anatomically close, as if something was learning to walk like us. Then came the sound, a breathing, deep, resonant, coming from caves at night. Not wind, not water, something intentional, something alive. Sometimes it matched your own breathing, as if the thing producing that sound was learning, studying, adapting to human physiology. Thomas Mercer recorded it in 2010. 20 minutes of deep, rhythmic breathing, occasionally attempting to form words, never succeeding. Just guttural whispers and strange clicking sounds. He played it to marine biologists. Their response? Delete it. Never speak of it. Some knowledge shatters minds. But before deletion, acoustic researchers analyzed every frequency and discovered something terrifying. The breathing changed throughout the night, became more refined, more human, more perfect. Their conclusion: if this creature continues studying human breathing, within years it will achieve perfect replication. At that point, you won't be able to tell the difference. Thomas never hiked again. He moved away, but he checks the news obsessively, looking for reports of disappearances, because the breathing sound has been recorded again, multiple times. In each new recording, it's more human, more refined, closer to perfect replication. Something is learning, something is practicing, getting ready. 9. The Skin Shedder. Park Ranger David Thorne found the first one on a Tuesday morning. Human-shaped, complete, every detail intact, but empty, hollow, like someone pulled out everything inside. It was skin, just skin, a discarded suit. David documented it carefully, then searched for a body. He found 4 more over 2 weeks, each perfect, each utterly empty. Then sightings started. Forest workers encountered figures moving wrong, joints bending in impossible directions, gaits almost human but subtly incorrect. When approached, they stood motionless, but their eyes tracked you with predatory focus. One worker, Maria Santos, had an encounter that nearly destroyed her. A figure approached slowly across a clearing, deliberately. Maria ran. Behind her, she felt claws rake her back. Her clothing tore. But when she examined the damage, her hands shook violently. The creature hadn't been trying to harm her. It had been trying to get inside, to remove her skin, to become her. David documented 17 instances before quitting. In his final report, mysteriously lost from official records, he wrote, "They are collecting, they are studying, they are learning how to become us. Each one I see moves more convincingly than the last. Rangers don't hike alone anymore. And sometimes hikers find them. Empty skins, waiting in the forest." 10. The Last Visitor. Jonathan Price wanted to disappear. 6 months in a cabin. No people, just himself and wilderness. He brought a video camera to document his journey. He should have been careful what he documented. By week 3, Jonathan described something following him. Something at the edge of perception. It circled his cabin, always watching. By week 5, he recorded a message. His words slurred, eyes unfocused. He described being studied, like he was the template. "Every night I understand less about what I am," he said, trembling. "And every night it understands me better." Search and rescue found him catatonic, unresponsive, but his camera was still running. The footage is where everything becomes horrifyingly clear. In early recordings, Jonathan moved normally, but by week 2, his movements became jerky. By week 3, his voice changed, deeper, rougher. By week 4, he wasn't moving like a human. He was practicing, walking, sitting, speaking, over and over. By day 36, his face had changed. Eyes closer together, jaw broader, skin pale and luminescent. He whispers to himself, one-sided conversations, answering questions only he can hear. In final footage, Jonathan stares directly into the camera. He moves with grace no human should possess. In a voice that is and isn't Jonathan, it speaks, "Thank you for the template. We understand now. We will be very good at being you. Better than you." Then footage ends. Jonathan remains institutionalized. He hasn't spoken since rescue, but night staff report watching him on surveillance, moving, practicing, walking more human each night. One nurse found him studying his reflection, not looking, studying. When she approached, his face became perfect, human, completely convincing. But his eyes, something looked out from behind those eyes, something that was not Jonathan Price. "It's almost time," he whispered. "We're almost ready." Jonathan is scheduled for release in 6 months. His doctors say he's responding beautifully. He's social now, appropriate, almost completely human. How many others have already been released? Look at the people around you. Really look. Watch how they move. Study their expressions. Listen to their breathing. Do they seem slightly wrong? Do they move like they're still learning? Are their eyes watching you the way you're watching them? Because they could be anywhere now. In your home, on your street, standing next to you, waiting, learning. becoming. If you made it this far, you're either brave or foolish, maybe both. So I need to ask you something. What should we investigate next? What story terrifies you? What phenomenon do you think we should document? And please, please subscribe and hit that notification bell, because we're diving deeper into the darkness every week. Stories that get darker, more disturbing, more real. Stay safe out there, and remember, not everything that looks human is human.